maybe we just start with how it all started.
Okay. So I've been selling rubber tubes for, since 2005, so about 15 years. And some years into it, I'm a handy guy, and I do a lot of home improvement, and got under multiple sinks. And at one point, I'm like, this stuff just doesn't fit. Like, it doesn't matter which bag I buy or how many bags I buy. I'm always going back to the store. If I miscut by 1/8 of an inch, the thing will leak.
Yes.
Plastic seals, hard plastic seals definitionally aren't really seals. And I'm like, isn't there a way I can take this tube and make it work somehow? And obviously there were many iterations of how you make a trap and how you get it to seal and how you're clamping it, how you're fitting it, and finally landed with what you've got there after many years of development and testing. And it was a fun adventure, but along the way, some really cool improvements came along, like the disinfecting clip and the fact that you can self-plunge it, and making sure that it fits 1.25 and 1.5 and all these different oddities that just people have.
Yeah.
And we can pretend that everybody's made to code and that it all is exactly the way it should be, but the reality is, like, most sinks aren't, and they just don't work.
So real quick story there. We run a small rural grocery store and hardware store here at Ace, and I am still responsible for things like leaky sinks and whatnot. And the 80-year-old building that the bathroom sink, they invented a route.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm going to give this a try for sure.
Well, the thing is, Theo, like, it's shocking how common this issue is. It's like, that doesn't happen with hard pipe. It doesn't happen with electrical. It's like, people don't have electricity shocks all the time in their house, and their hard plumbing that supplies their pressurized water to their sinks, like, it's not leaking all the time.
Yeah.
But drains constantly. It's constant. Everybody knows it. It's universal. You ask anybody in this world who's had a house for more than a year, yes, one of my drains has been a pain in my ass for some reason. Somehow. It's not fitting. It didn't work. It leaked. It dripped. It clogged. It whatever. And Simple Drain just provides a solution to so many of those problems in minutes, without additional plumbing parts, without additional tools, without a lot of experience. You can just fix it.
So I'll just be right back. I'll go fix it. And no. I really will be doing this very soon.
Yep.
Yeah.
And what's neat too is it does fix if you've done more than one Simple Drain, because there's a learning curve with any new product, and it should be around 5 to 10 minutes for anybody, regardless of experience, your first time. And once you've done it once, it's under 2 minutes, and I can now do them in under a minute, tearing out an existing sink and putting in a brand new Simple Drain with a pair of scissors. Like,
yeah,
that's
awesome.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you thought of it, and I'm surprised nobody thought of it earlier. But yeah,
I'm glad nobody thought of it earlier.
I do have a guy who does apartments, who's giving it a try right now. I'm waiting on his feedback back from that, but he hasn't called back yet to say it didn't work. So, but we'll keep you posted on that.
Usually a good sign.
Well, apartment guys are one of our target markets. We saw that from day one. It's like, what do you know about people in rentals? Well, they don't own the property and they don't care about what happens to it. So they tend to throw lots of junk, and they tend to have higher than usual clogs. And what a great way for a landlord to, tell Mrs. Jones to, squeeze it out, play with it. It's 11 p.m. on a Sunday. I don't want to come over there.
Sure. Yeah.
You guys can kind of fix this on your own. Here's how you do it. Watch the video. Here's a link to the video. Go watch that. Fix your own clog.
That's awesome. Yeah. So maybe talk a little bit about that self unclogging situation.
Yeah. So what's really neat about the product is that it displaces large volumes because it will expand and contract when you pull and push it back together. what you're ending up doing is changing the volume of the interior of the tube. So by doing that, you create a natural vacuum. And if you fill a sink up with water, pretending it's clogged, and you start pulling on this, you can actually see the water level moving up and down as you're pulling it, which just creates a tremendous amount of force. And ultimately, where clogs happen normally isn't the track. That's where, you know, you even look at like the Drano videos, you know, they always show the hair in the trap. It's rarely in the trap. It catches up at the drain where all the hard, sharp components are, or at the stopper rod.
Okay.
And so it catches there, and then long hair drags down and clogs down, and sometimes you can even reach the trap. But how do you get all of that material out? Well, the easiest way isn't to just try to dissolve it with acid. It's to physically plunge it with this thing, and you don't have to disconnect anything other than the little trap loops. You're not exposing yourself to any leaks or drips or worry about reattachment. It all stays intact. Plunge, plunge, plunge. It's clogged. It's cleaned. Now it's ready to go. You put your loop back on, and in a matter of seconds, you're all done. The clog is gone. It's all the way through your system.
But what about a guy like me who solves every situation with acid? Oh, no, okay, I don't.
You know, well, no, actually, you know what, Theo? It's a joke, but it's a fantastic point. For people who choose to put a Drano down it, the Simple Drain is impervious to acids. So you can let it soak in there for a week. It won't matter. Mm-hmm. So if somebody doesn't realize that it's self-plunging and they still go the old route, you're not going to damage the product or your sink in any way, any different than you would with a more traditional plumbing solution. So there's no issues with that either.
That's awesome. Yeah. What else do we tell people? I mean, you install it fast with just scissors.
Yep.
Unclogs itself.
Yep.
It's not you're not bringing so many chemicals into your house. What else am I missing here? I mean, that seems pretty.
I think the antimicrobial rubber in today's COVID world, what people don't realize is that microbes, if you can smell, I mean, kind of the whole point, if you go back to like, why do we have drain traps? We have drain traps to prevent sewer gases from coming back up into our system. Mm-hmm. And if you can smell a drain, or think of like, if you put hot water into a system and you see steam coming up, that means that anything that's living inside of that system is coming up with that steam. So microbes and viruses that survive in that dark, wet environment, which is lots of them, can actually come back up into our air in the area around the sink where your face is.
Right.
So it's not impossible for people to actually get, and there's actually been many studies where people have gotten infectious diseases from their sink drain. And so if you have somebody who has had COVID or the flu or pneumonia or whatever, you've put all those things down your drain and they have the potential to come back up. And what Simple Drain does is two important things. One, it's got an antimicrobial surface of that material. It's antimicrobial. It's built into the material, so it's not going anywhere. But what it means is anything that comes in contact with that surface can't reproduce inside the drain.
Nice.
So that's important. So it can't grow. So it's less likely to get that black biofilm that we see all over plumbing pipes. If you open them up, I don't care how smooth or pretty they are inside, they're going to be black and brown at some point.
Yes.
So that is minimized. And then secondly, if you have an issue and you're worried about it, you can take our little clip or a chip clip or whatever's handy and clamp it off near the drain, your wall waste side. And then pour some bleach in with a little bit of water and fill up that whole system. And you're basically soaking the entirety of that system, that entire inside of that system, with a bleach solution, which is what everybody uses, including hospitals and labs, to disinfect stuff. So
nice.
It cleans out all of that nasty stuff and makes it so that hot water and air exchanges can't travel up and bring up nasty stuff with it.
So it's safer and less gross.
Safer and less gross. Yes. That's it.
Perfect summary.
Yes. Yes.
I got it. It has to work for my brain too. So yeah. Yes. It's a very scientific explanation, but it makes a lot of sense. And anything we can do to help reduce the issues with getting sick, especially in these times, is.
Yeah, and for a lot of people, it probably doesn't matter to them. But you know, if you've got somebody who's been directly infected with something bad, it costs you pennies and seconds to do it. And if you've got somebody who's really at risk, an elderly mother or you know, a grandparent you're taking care of or whatever, like
Yeah,
put it in there.
that's great.
It's, again, very easy. So there's nothing you have to do. It's not like I'm telling everybody to go disinfect your sink every day. No, don't do that. That's a little crazy. But there are times and places where that's important, and you physically cannot do that with traditional plumbing. And so it's nice to have the option. How about that?
You bet.
You don't keep the flashlight in the under your sink, and you only need it when the power goes out. So it's not like you're using it every day, but it's a nice insurance policy to have in case the power goes out.
That's right.
That kind of thing.
So we've obviously got the P trap covered. What about an S trap situation?
We didn't focus on S traps on there because our product is IAPMO listed, which means it hasn't been included in the full code. They only do that review every few years, and there are technically some things that are verboten, convolutions being the big one. But it meets the health, safety, and performance standard of traditional plumbing according to the code. So basically what they're saying is it does anything approved by code does. We're just not saying it's approved by the code.
Right.
So we are trying to follow the rules. And the point is S-traps are always against the rules. You can never technically use an S-trap. However, if you want to make an S-trap with that kit sitting right next to you, you absolutely can. There is a video on our website to show you how to do it. We just didn't want to feature it on there, given that we're trying to be respectful of the code to encourage people to do it the right way. But at the same time, it will certainly fit on a retrofit scenario where you want to use it as an S-trap.
So you might be able to do a W trap or a V trap.
Or an X trap.
Go through the alphabet.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Well, I mean, that's in the underground plumbing world, maybe the
dark side of the plumbing world. Yes.
Those shady folks.
Shady, very shady.
Yes. Awesome. Well, I really appreciate you talking with us. This is awesome. My first time talking with you guys out in Ohio. You say it's chilly. Is it snowing yet?
We've got snow, but it's melting. We're above freezing, but not by much today.
All right. Well, we haven't committed to snow yet, but awesome. Well, we're here in Lenox, Iowa, and happy to have the Simple Drain on the shelf here, and hopefully people start seeing how this can make things easier, when not just when their thing breaks, but for somebody like an apartment guy or construction folks who are doing this all the time, who could save probably hours and hours of headaches. So
it's preventative maintenance for people who realize that life happens.
You bet.
It's like, hey, things leak. And you know what? Final thought is you can bump it. You can hit it with that little basket, that little bin, the plunger, the rolls of toilet paper under your sink. Everybody's got stuff under there. And if you bump a hard pipe, what does it do, Theo? It leaks.
Yes.
Because you're breaking those little plastic seals. What happens if you bump a simple drain? It can lean sideways at an angle like this and still drain.
Yeah.
And it won't work. So it's just a safer way to experience plumbing, meaning you don't have to experience the plumbing.
Nice. I like that. Awesome. Well, I'm going to go fix the bathroom sink over at the grocery store.
Yes.
The team will appreciate that. So thank you very much, you guys, and have a wonderful holiday season.
Yeah, you too, Theo. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.